Dear Thally and your YouTube psychic. Card of the day. Readings. Unboxings. Your daily source for things arcane.
Hey everyone, Tyr here, and today we're going to just jump right into the 7 stages of grief. As you know, I am not a licensed psychotherapist or psychiatrist. I just have quite a bit of experience dealing with grief. Fortunately, but unfortunately. So, first of all, we're going to go through the 7 stages. Now, the first one is shock and denial, pain and guilt, anger and bargaining, depression, the upward turn, reconstruction and working through, acceptance and hope. Now, I'm going to try and get through these in one video. However, with there being 7 stages, and I'm going to go through some of the things that I did that helped me, and or some things that could possibly help you, hopefully. It may be more. Stage 1, shock and denial. Now, this is a state of disbelief and numbed feelings. Grief can be an overwhelming emotion, and it's not uncommon to pretend that the loss or change isn't happening to you or your family. Denying it gives you time to more gradually get used to the fact that things are changing and begin the process to heal. This is a common defense mechanism and helps numb you to the overwhelming gravity of the situation you find yourself in. Now, as you move out of the denial stage, however, the emotions you've been hiding will begin to rise. You'll be confronted with a lot of sorrow that you've been denying. That is also part of the journey of grief, but it can be difficult. You may also find yourself in shock or unable to process the loss at that time. So you may find yourself doing things you've been putting off to help take your mind off of the situation that you found yourself in currently. Now, when it comes to shock and denial, I do believe that's where I have been the past month or so since finding out that my sister passed. With COVID going on and everything happening, there's been no services and or I have not been able to see her urn because they've apparently had her cremated. I haven't been able to see her. I should change that. I have not been able to see her urn because she lived in Florida. I live up north. And her daughter lives in Texas. So once she was cremated, she went to Texas with her daughter. Now, Stage 2 is pain and guilt. You may feel that the loss is unbearable and that you're making other people's lives harder because of your feelings and or needs at the current time. Oftentimes, you may experience what is known as survivor's guilt. This is where you're feeling guilty that your loved one is dead and you're still here. This is oftentimes found when you experience a situation with your loved one where you survive and they do not. It is not to say that if they pass of natural causes or a terminal illness that you will not experience this stage as well. Again, this is more of an outline and not an actual laundry list to be checked off. In my case, I found myself thinking I should have done this, I should have done that. I couldn't have done anything differently in any of the situations that I've found myself in. My loved ones have passed away because basically it was their time. Nothing more or less. Now, when it comes to the survivor's guilt that I mentioned, oh yes. Yes, 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 yes. That is something that I experienced and still do to this day with the loss of my mom. Um, she and I were very close, and she died on my birthday, so there's a lot of guilt there when it comes to her death. Um, Nothing I could have done, nothing that should have been done. It was just her time to go, and it just happened to be my birthday. Nothing of consequence there. Stage 3 is anger and bargaining. You may lash out telling God or a higher power that you'll do anything they ask if they will only grant you relief from these feelings, or that you'll do anything to have your loved one and or job back. Where denial may be considered a coping mechanism, anger is a masking effect. Anger is hiding many of the emotions and pain that you carry. This anger may be redirected at other people, such as the person who died, your ex, or your old boss. You may even aim your anger at inanimate objects. While your rational brain knows that the object of your anger isn't to blame, your feelings and emotions that are too intense to feel that. Anger may mask itself in feelings like bitterness or resentment. I wouldn't know anything about that. It may not be clear-cut fury or rage. Not everyone will experience this stage, and some may linger here for a while. As the anger subsides, however, you may begin to think more rationally about what's happening and feel the emotions you've been pushing aside for a while. During grief, you may feel vulnerable and helpless. In those moments of intense emotions, it's not uncommon to look for ways to regain control or want to feel like you can affect the outcome of an event. In the bargaining stage of grief, you may find yourself creating a lot of what ifs and if only statements. It's also not uncommon for religious individuals to try to make a deal or promise to God or a higher power in return for healing or relief from the grief and pain. Bargaining is a line of defense against the emotions of grief. It helps you postpone the sadness, confusion, or hurt. In the case of anger, I did not and still do not find myself angry at myself or my loved ones. They should have told me sooner, they should have taken care of themselves better, or I should have done this or that. And again, this is where guilt can come in. You may find yourself feeling guilty about these thoughts and emotions. Give yourself or the person experiencing grief time to process the situation and cope with the loss. Now, like I said in stage 2, stage 3, the anger and or bargaining phase, I was never really mad at anyone. When it came to my sister, I was a little upset at the fact that I wasn't told the entire truth. by her. When it comes to the bargaining, oh yes, absolutely. That happens a lot, especially when the death is a very long, slow goodbye, because you find yourself thinking, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, I must have forgotten to tell them this, blah, blah, blah. Just know that where they are, they're not feeling any disappointment, any upset. You did everything you were possibly able to do, and there was nothing more that you could do. If you or someone you love have thoughts of suicide or harming yourself, call 911 or go to an emergency room. You can also call the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline at 1-800-273-8255, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Thanks for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe to my content and like this video. Want more? Feel free to order your own personal reading at www.tirthalion.com. That's TIRTHALION.com. Don't forget to click the bell icon so that you're notified every time I upload a video.